All right.
Hey, Collab Coach here yet again. Casual conversations with wonderful friends of mine. Today, I have one of my oldest and good friends, Valencia. Valencia,
Woo-hoo.
thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it.
No problem. Honored to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. And today, we're going to talk about dating and not only dating, but how men should approach women. Um, I know Valencia, you have we talked about plenty of experience that you've had, especially
Mhm.
living in Savannah, Georgia. So talk to me about how you have been approached and what are the things you just dislike about how you've been approached by guys, especially nowadays with COVID and all that good stuff.
Well, I have some unfortunately ratchet experiences. Hmm. I will say I've had a lot of guys probably kind of eye me in the grocery aisle
Mhm.
and or follow me, walk really close up towards me, but not say anything, stare at me the entire time, and even after I walk past them. So it's been pretty creepy.
Mm.
Um, a lot of guys, I've done a lot of online dating too because I didn't really find many guys here in Savannah, so I've done a lot of online dating.
Mhm.
The, the approach is pretty much good morning, beautiful, good morning, beautiful, good morning. And I hate the copy paste. I hate the copy paste. I want you to come at me with something original.
Mhm.
Like, hey, I was intrigued by your profile, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got some stuff in common, that kind of thing. Or, back in Macon, my hometown, I would hear some footsteps running behind me. Hey, shawty, that kind of thing. You remember in college, I did a video called The Approach, and I went around asking different, peers or classmates of ours, how they would like to be approached. Got some really interesting answers. So that tells me everybody's a little different.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, just disclaimer, me and Valencia met at our undergrad. We both went to the same undergrad, both graduated. That's
Woo.
amazing. And then yeah, we just stay close ever since. And me hearing these stories, like me being that person that doesn't do that. I mean, especially since I'm married now, but when I was dating or single in the single world, I never approached the woman like that. So I was just like, wow, these guys are either too aggressive or they just don't know how to approach women. And
Mhm.
just thinking about all these stories you have, I'm pretty sure you're not the only one. So how does that really make you feel when like a dude approaches you like that?
Well, I'm not one to turn my nose up, but
Mm,
I will entertain a conversation with you.
mm,
I unfortunately got a lot of the older men who knew they didn't have a chance and just wanted to try it anyway. I hate it. They're like, or let's say I'm at the laundromat or something. It's like, hey, you want a friend? You want a friend? I'm like, sir, that's okay. I'm good. You single, and then in the back of my mind, I'm like, should I lie? No,
mm,
it's hard for me to lie. I can't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. I'm like, I'm single. He's like, you want a friend? I said, I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm talking to somebody.
mhm,
And he'd be like, that don't mean nothing. He ready to argue me down. Okay. I have had at least 5 of those.
mhm,
Running in the park, maybe an old man sees me. Hey, beautiful. Hey, I want to sop you up like a biscuit. I might have, I went to go get a massage. It was an older man. I mean, the massage went okay. And then afterwards, he busy telling me what he would like to do. So we're not going to go into that. But unfortunately, that has been my approach experience. Mostly old men. Yeah.
mm, So speaking of that, the type of people and the way you're being approached, how would you as a woman, nowadays you're a young woman, especially 2021, this is things have changed from back in the early 2000s to now about how men and women approach. I know everything's more social media based now, but how would you want to be approached by a man?
I would like for a man to basically just walk up to me and start a conversation. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be corny because I can tell if it took you if some line you're throwing at me or something, or a well-crafted, like I can appreciate the effort. If it comes out corny, I can still appreciate the effort rather than, hey, beautiful, what you doing? When you gonna come see me? I'm so tired of that, and I'm sure a lot of these women can relate. Okay. Yeah. So I would just like him to, kind of just say something he might notice. It doesn't have to be so much about my looks. Maybe you notice something outside. Maybe you notice something I was reading, or I don't know, just something different, and just start a conversation. I would like to say when I was at Georgia Southern, I was new to Facebook. I started Facebook at 2008. Okay, I was 18 years old.
Mhm.
And I was at Georgia Southern, and I noticed all these guys would start adding me as friends. And I would see those same guys at the laundromat, in the cafeteria, and I would just come up to them like, hey, I noticed that we're friends on, whatever, but they seem to be scared to talk, but you're adding me, you're approaching me online. I don't understand. So, I would like a guy to just, be himself. Or if you have to come up with something, I can appreciate the effort. I'm gonna have a conversation with you, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, and I think that's sound advice. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. Just approach, make sure you keep eye contact, and just start a conversation. I think that's the most friendliest thing, because at the end of the day, when you're even want to have a relationship, at least it should at least start with a friendly conversation, or start off as friends and then see where it goes, because you never know. Maybe you have common interests, maybe you have things that you both like, or maybe
Right.
you guys just don't fit and you guys are not going to date, and that's okay too. But at least start as a friend and start the conversation off right, in the right way. That way the environment is positive, instead of it feel like it's forced, or feels like
Yes.
it's kind of cringy. So what do you think is the biggest disconnect as far as guys approaching women? Do you feel like they just don't know how to do it nowadays? Or do you feel like it's more like maybe they're too aggressive? What do you think like is like maybe not the biggest, or one of the biggest reasons why there's such a disconnect, especially with guys that are approaching you?
I think so many guys in this day and time, especially, have technology to hide behind.
Mm,
They would rather just slide in some DMs, or instead of just come face you. I mean, I was always wondering, like, what would it be like if we were adults in the 90s? Like,
yeah.
would it be a lot different? You couldn't hide behind all that. You can't hide behind what all the rappers say to do and all that kind of stuff. Like, you just had to put yourself out there, be yourself, get some guts, and go walk up to the woman. I think that is the disconnect. I also think that maybe the guy had male figures in his life that he was watching, and he
Mhm.
saw them get women, and maybe that's how he modeled himself to do the same thing,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Or maybe he did not have any male figures, and he's just going off the dome. I have no idea. So that may be it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the social media piece and the hiding behind the black mirror, as
Right.
it's called a lot nowadays, is the biggest thing that's hurting interaction and period, because of the fact that we have somewhere to run off to, or we have that thing that we can pretend like it's real, and that's the reality. Whereas
Exactly.
communication is the real thing, that's personal, that that starts a relationship. You might be able to engage with people on the cell phone,
Mhm.
but you're not really interacting with them, if
There
that
you
makes sense.
go.
Yeah, so is I think that's the biggest thing that's hurting us. Yeah, technology is great, social media is great, cell phone is great. You don't need to lug around computers anymore because we have a mini computer in our hands. But we are human beings, and human beings need interaction. Human beings need communication and conversation to keep
Yes.
to keep us entertained, not the temporary things that we get on our cell phone. And I think that's the
Right.
biggest thing as well. So I guess my last
Exactly.
question for you is,
Hmm.
um, if a guy approached you today
Hmm.
and he started off the conversation the right way, what would you want the guy to start a conversation with? I think that's the biggest thing.
Hi, man, it's nice weather out here, isn't it? Or it doesn't have to be like, it don't have to be corny like that, or just like, it just depends on what's around us. Like, if we're at a restaurant, it's like, oh man, I kind of want that. I want to order that or something like that. Or what are you getting? Or we're in a long line or something. Like, just pick something in our surroundings, be really quick about it, and just talk. If you see me struggling, like if I go to the grocery store, which I'm really bad, I don't get buggies. I end up getting just a little handheld cart thing, and I end up struggling. Help me with that. Go get me a buggy. Like, go talk to me about something. Like, I don't know. Just reach deep inside yourself and just, or it can be something surface level. It's like, hey, uh, man, dang, this rain or something. I don't know. Just talk about anything just to get the conversation started. Now, if the woman turns her nose up at you, then obviously, it's not the right vibe.
Yeah.
But some women just want you to take the reins sometimes. I know we're all about this independent woman thing and all that kind of stuff, but we really want men to step up, take the reins, and, pursue us, like even in conversation, and then keep the conversation going. Don't have us carried on our back. We don't want to do that. So yeah, I say just keep it simple. Find something to talk about.
I think that's the best advice you could give anybody is just keep it simple. Keep it simple. You don't have to complicate it, and be yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. Be yourself. Don't put up a facade. Don't wear a mask. Don't pretend like you're not. You're this big old person, and you're really not. You're just a gentle person. Just be yourself, because the right person is going to be attracted to who you truly are.
Bingo.
And I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, don't let social media lie to you. There are still women out here that want real men. There are still men that want real women. And I think that is the biggest thing that you have to remember in the back of your mind. So Valencia, I do appreciate you. You gave some great advice, some wise words. And I know the men that's going to listen to this and the women that's going to listen to this are going to take the approach of dating differently, because as you know, 2021, there's a lot of single people out here. Not as much people are getting married, and we need to start, hey, maybe from this conversation, we'll start changing that. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we'll definitely have you back for another conversation about something else. Hey, you never know. By the time we have another conversation, we talk about marriage. So who knows? Yeah. But thank you. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
All right, you do the same. Till next time.
Yes.